This is the 5th video in the 4th and final chapter in Brotherhood of Darkness. To grasp the significance of what is happening today, you must understand the oaths that Cecil Rhodes and many of his followers took when they became Masons. When a candidate is inducted into the first degree of the Blue Lodge, he is blindfolded. A noose is placed around his neck, his left chest is bared, his left pants leg is rolled up, and he is told to take off his shoes and kneel before the worshipful master of his lodge. He must then swear that he will never reveal what he is about to learn. Although there are some minor variations in wording throughout the world, all Masonic oaths are similar in content. Upon entering the entered apprentice degree, each candidate must swear, "All this I most solemnly, sincerely promise and swear, with a firm and steadfast resolution to perform the same without any mental reservation or secret evasion of mine whatever, binding myself under no less penalty than that of having my throat cut across, my tongue torn out by its roots, and my body buried in the rough sands of the sea at low water mark, where the tide ebbs and flows twice in 24 hours, should I ever knowingly violate this my entered apprentice obligation, so help me God." When a candidate enters the fellow craft or second degree of Masonry, he agrees to have the following done to him if he ever violates his oaths of secrecy: "My breast torn open, my heart plucked out, and given as prey to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." Upon entering the third degree, the initiate agrees to have this: "Body severed in twain, my bowels taken from thence and burned to ashes and scattered before the four winds of heaven." During each ceremony the candidate is asked, "What do you desire most?" He is told to respond either "the light" or "more light," but he is never told what the light represents. Christians who have prayed the sinner's prayer know that when they invited Jesus into their heart, something happened and their lives were transformed. In a similar manner, when an initiate kneels before his worshipful master and asks for the light, something happens, and his world view changes. Unless he renounces his oaths and leaves the lodge, he will never again be the same. What happens when an initiate asks the light into his life? I am about to reveal the secret the elect have guarded for thousands of years. Let me warn you that once you learn it, you will never again look at things in the same way again. Albert Pike was the leading Masonic philosopher of the 19th century, and he remains the most revered Mason of all time. His body is interred at the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C., and his statue stands close by. Until 1974, his book, Morals and Dogma, was given to every Scottish Rite Freemason who reached the 14th degree, and it is still recommended on all Masonic reading lists. On page 104 of Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike referred to the truth which it calls light. He wrote, "Masonry conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages, or the elect, and uses false explanations and misinterpretations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled, to conceal the truth which it calls light from them, and to draw them away from it." This is an incredible statement. Albert Pike admits there is an intentional effort to deceive initiates who enter the lodge about the truth which it calls light. On page 819 of Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike reveals that the blue degrees are but the outer court or portico of the temple. Part of the symbols are displayed there to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. It is not intended that he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine he understands them. Their true explication is reserved for the adepts, the princes of Masonry. The blue degrees are the first 3 levels of Masonry. Once again, Albert Pike admits that there is an intentional effort to deceive those who enter the craft. Why are they misled? Because if initiates understood the true implications of the Masonic ceremonies, most of them would flee in terror. On page 781 of Morals and Dogma, we read, "If you reflect, my brother, you will no doubt suspect that some secret meaning was concealed in these words." What was concealed? Albert Pike tells us that the rites of Masonry are used to conceal some secret meaning, but he never tells his readers what the secret meaning represents. On page 219 we read, "That rite raises a corner of the veil even in the degree of apprentice, for it there declares that Masonry is a worship." Albert Pike tells us that Masonry is a worship. Yet Masons deny the craft is a religion. How can there be worship without a religion? Who do they worship? They worship the great architect of the universe, but most Masons have no idea what that entity represents. On page 840 of Morals and Dogma, we learn, "It was the remembrance of this scientific and religious absolute, of this doctrine that is summed up in a word, of this word, in fine, alternately lost and found again, that was transmitted to the elect of all the ancient initiations. It was this same remembrance, preserved or perhaps profaned in the celebrated order of the Templars, that became for all the secret associations of the Rose Croix, of the Illuminati, of the Hermetic Freemasons, and the reason of their strange rites, of their signs more or less conventional, and above all, of their mutual devotedness and of their power." That statement was designed to help those entering this 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite understand the secret of Masonry. They are told that the word, the secret knowledge, was transmitted to the leaders of the ancient initiations, the elect, preserved by the Templars, and then passed down through the Rose Croix, the Rosicrucians, and the Illuminati to the Hermetic Freemasons, the Masons. The word or secret knowledge was incorporated into the symbolism of their rites. What is the secret? When an initiate learns the mystery of his craft, he has access to power. Manly P. Hall was the leading Masonic philosopher of the 20th century. His book, Lectures on Ancient Philosophy, reveals there are 2 levels of Masonry: an outer fraternity everyone knows about, and an inner fraternity dedicated to the study of the mysterious Arcanum Arcanorum. Manly P. Hall wrote, "Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. The visible society is a splendid camaraderie of free and accepted men enjoined to devote themselves to ethical, educational, fraternal, patriotic, and humanitarian concerns. The invisible society is a secret and most august fraternity whose members are dedicated to the service of a mysterious Arcanum Arcanorum." You cannot understand the significance of either the dark force that energized Cecil John Rhodes or the strange symbol on the back of the dollar bill until you understand the mysterious Arcanum Arcanorum. Have you ever wondered why there is an unfinished pyramid capped by an all-seeing eye on our currency? I will tell you in the next video, in video number 6. This was video number 5 of the 4th and final chapter of Brotherhood of Darkness. Thanks for following if you've made it this far.